Hello and welcome back to Jarvis Johnson Gold, the premium channel that is free. It is free, but if you're watching this, you're premium. And Steve Harvey is a terrible judge. I knew this was true when season 1 of Judge Steve Harvey aired. The same is true today because season 2 has begun. And we're going to watch it today. I just think it's a very silly show. Also, I'm moving. We're still working on the backdrop here. The podcast set is behind me. It's a living room facing a window. Also, the sun is going down right now, so the lighting is going to change all around. I just wanted to record this intro while it was golden hour, so you can see how nice it looks in here.
It's a big world out there, and it's filled with people that just don't see eye to eye. See, that's why I come in. See, I ain't got a law degree. And I'm way too fly to wear a robe.
I'm pleased to report that they have not changed the intro to Judge Steve Harvey. It is still Steve Harvey looking really cool in a coat and talking about how people don't see eye to eye and it's up to him to set the record straight, but he doesn't have a law degree and he's way too fly to wear a robe. That's why we trust Judge Steve Harvey, because he's not a lawyer or a judge. He has no qualifications whatsoever. And that's what makes him perfect for the job.
How you doing today?
I'm doing great, sir. Thank you.
Good to see you, darling. Nancy is a real bailiff in real life. She normally has a gun.
This episode of Judge Steve Harvey intros with a new bailiff being introduced. And it's notable because she's a real bailiff in real life. And so he kind of pokes fun at his own show. None of this matters. She normally has a gun, and now she's here.
This is the case of Derek Smith versus Linda Hines.
The first story is called Sugar Daddy Turned Sour. Derek here is suing for $10,000 for a car loan and emotional manipulation. I didn't know. Oh, I should mention, Steve Harvey is not a judge, despite what the name of the show tells you. And I do believe these are all like small claims things. And I guess they're resolved through the show, but I don't understand the legal loophole that allows the show to exist. Or does there have to be a legal loophole? Does this have to be a real judge? I mean, this is probably all just lights, camera, and action. Nancy, the bailiff, is the only person with a real job here.
All right, let's start with you, Derek. You have 30 seconds to state your case.
My former girlfriend over here.
Hold on. In Judge Steve Harvey, you have 30 seconds to state your case. I feel like a lot of court cases are pretty complex. 30 seconds is that's more a test of your public speaking ability than anything else. I feel like I would be like, well, what everybody has to understand is the context behind the situation under which I, Jarvis Johnson, am suing Jordan Cope for emotional manipulation. You see, we have a podcast called, and that's your 30 seconds. Your 30 seconds is up. I'm awarding the defendant $10,000. And I'm like, I didn't even get a chance to finish speaking, Mr. Steve Harvey. Could I please have another try? 30 seconds. That is all you were allowed in my courtroom. I'm just saying I would be bad at court.
I'm suing her for $10,000 for a car loan that I gave her. But Judge Harvey, I really need to find out if she really loved me or she used me. Did she take advantage of me because I'm a teddy bear? She thought I was an ATM machine.
I don't think that is what court is for. I don't think you can sue somebody under the grounds of, did you love me for real? Sign on this Bible. Sign on this deck box for Rhino Shield sleeves. Do you love me? You wouldn't lie to this demon. No, would you? Not sponsored, by the way. However, call me Rhino Shield. I'll swear on your sleeves all day.
Went for $10,000.
Yes.
Okay, but you mad right now?
I'm upset.
You upset? Okay.
Yeah.
But you got it targeted towards me. I just want you to know it ain't gonna work out for you like you think. Because I'm hood ready at all times.
I don't even feel like this guy was angry, but Steve Harvey checked him and said, hey, don't come at me with that, dude, because I'm hood ready at all times, which is something that I do not believe. I think that Steve Harvey and his $300 million estate are not going to worry themselves with minor scuffles, because then you might end up on Judge Steve Harvey. And then how is he going to mediate his own civil dispute? Think with your head. It's impossible. There's no other judges that can see the case. But before we get into that, let's talk about today's sponsor, Rocket Money. Rocket Money's mission is to improve the financial health of millions of people. They help members achieve their financial goals by canceling unwanted subscriptions, lowering bills, setting up budgets, monitoring credit, and providing a holistic view of your finances. That's a lot for one subscription. I know that there's a lot of subscriptions that I've been meaning to cancel, but whenever I look at all of the transactions, it's just like super daunting to me. But Rocket Money gave me an easy to follow view of my spending and identified some subscriptions that I totally forgot about. I knew they were there, but I didn't know where. But Rocket Money gave me an easy to follow view of my spending, and it identified those pesky subscriptions that I knew were there, but couldn't find. They also allowed me to cancel all of those unwanted subscriptions with a single tap. Rocket Money has also helped me with budgeting and sends me notifications when I exceed my budget in certain categories. It's a great way to cut spending. They can even help to negotiate for lower bills. This all-in-one personal finance platform can be a big help for achieving your financial goals. Download Rocket Money and unlock even more features with premium. Go to rocketmoney.com/JarvisJohnson or click the link in the description to get started today. Thanks to Rocket Money for sponsoring this video. Ding, ding. Now back to court.
He was my playmate for an amount of time.
See, playmate. Playmate. And
No, sir, she's got 30 seconds.
Derek, so let's just settle down and let me hear what Linda has to say. Go ahead, Linda.
These people have to be actors, right? They're too good at performing. You never see somebody on court TV who's a bad performer or who's shy. You know, that's how I know it's not real. That's the only reason. Everything else checks out.
He was my playmate for a while. He's my ex-playmate. I never used him.
It is a power play and a half to refer to an ex-romantic interest as your ex-playmate, because it really does sound like you used them for play and that's it. And hey, maybe that was their agreement. Maybe there was a little bit of play and a little bit of a $10,000 car loan, and that was just a gift. That was just a part of the play. Can I have a $10,000 loan as a kink? I won't shame you.
Derek, how did you all meet?
Well, Your Honor, me and a friend of mine was driving, showing him how to pick up girls. But
That's what you was doing?
I seen a beautiful woman that was in my rearview mirror. I told her to pull over. Let me get her number.
So Derek's story of how he met Linda was that he was driving with a friend and teaching his friend how to pick up girls, which is apparently something that happens. So he was driving with his friend, showing him how to pick up girls. Hey, Chris, my friend, Derek, let me show you the ropes. Let me show you how to pick up ladies. And then he is driving and he sees in his rearview mirror a beautiful woman. Is she stationary or is she driving also? Or maybe third option, she's running very fast behind the car. These are the three ways I think that you could have seen her in your rearview mirror.
And when you walked up to her, what did you say?
Say, hey, beautiful, how you doing? I said, I'm into older women.
Hold on, I need to write some of this down. He said, hey, beautiful, how you doing? I'm into older women. That kind of seems rude. I don't know if that would seem like a compliment to someone I was trying to pick up, regardless of their age.
And he's flashing me and waving his hand out the window. So I pulled over, he got out, he opened the door and got out. I said, whoa, whole lot of loving coming at us. I was like, whoa.
Ooh, look at this great big old man. You know, all of a sudden it's dark outside.
Wow. I was not expecting surprise body shaming is happening right now. Okay, so Derek's a big guy. All right, everybody relax about these, like, suddenly it was dark outside, couldn't see. Oh, it was a whole lot of man. All right, everybody chill. Now, I'm not on Derek's side here, but we don't need to stoop to this level to make jokes about him, okay? We could talk about how his game is bad, okay? About how he had to wave his hands out his car to get a woman to pull over who he was then trying to pick up. She probably thought she had a flat tire. And he was like, surprise, I am your flat tire. My heart is flat. And I was wondering if you could put some air in it with love. Sorry, I'm still working on my car pickup lines. You know, I'm into older ladies.
You can't even see the sun no more. Your whole car just blacked out.
Okay, all right. Who was this guy in the jury, or the audience, I should say, the what do you call it? The crowd, who's like, whoa, because he was so big? Yeah, man. That's the joke that Steve Harvey's making, / kids made in elementary school. That's kind of Steve Harvey's vibe. He does sort of have the elementary school humor vibe to him.
We had pizza on every
Okay,
day.
hold on. We had pizza on every day.
We ate a lot of pizza.
You like pizza?
Now the second
yeah,
day.
you do now. You know,
I like pizza too. Can we chill? Pizza's good. Does anybody not like pizza? I guess there's little contrarians out there who are like, I don't like the bread and the cheese and the marinara sauce. You're lying. You're lying for attention. Grow up. You probably like pizza, all right? Oh, well, I have a gluten allergy. Okay, chill. They have gluten-free pizza. And you like it. Cancel culture. No, just kidding.
Next thing I know, I heard the back door open. It was her grandkids coming in the car. Now we supposed to go on a date, me and her. She's bringing her grandchildren with her. And I'm like, what is...
Steve Harvey is in a rare moment of weakness trying really hard not to break right now. You can kind of see it in his face. As Derek describes Linda bringing her grandchildren on a date, we found his weakness.
How do you treat the kids, though?
I treat the kids wonderful.
They love him.
I treat them like they was my own.
Okay.
All right? Because that's the type of guy I am.
Yeah.
He did.
You know?
He did.
So Linda brings the grandkids along. Little communication goes a long way, by the way. Derek was fine with it. He treats the kids as his own, I assume by feeding them pizza, which I would also like as a 9 to 11-year-old child and also an adult man. As I said, everyone loves pizza. It's fine. It's great. And then I guess that is an applause break where even Linda is like, give him a round of applause. He gave those kids pizza. Honestly, he is a stand-up guy and I do owe him money.
Following day, she said, hey, are you coming up? Yes, I'm coming up. Can you go and bring the kids some milk and some cereal? I'm like, wow.
No. You asked me, did I need anything? You always ask me, do I need anything?
Hold on.
Okay, so now that Pizzagate is over, we are now moving on to the next controversy, which is Cerealgate, and I don't understand why it's a problem. Derek is going over to Linda's place. Linda asks him to bring some cereal for the kids. Seems like a perfectly normal thing. He knows that she's raising these children. But Linda was like, no, I didn't ask you to bring the stuff. You asked me if I needed anything. And I'm like, this is a nothing conversation. Why does this matter?
Right.
Derek, I know good and well if you're going over a woman's house that you're gonna say, do you need anything?
That's right. That's what he said.
I've been saying that for years.
But then Steve Harvey was like, I know that's true because I always ask a woman if she needs anything when I'm coming home. Okay, Steve Harvey, okay.
But then I'm gonna fire 8 or 9 people because I don't know what the hell she need me to pick up something for.
And then in a moment of relatability, he says he goes to pick up the thing, but then he fires people because why does he have all this staff if they can't pick up stuff for my wife? And that's cool because we're reminded that Steve Harvey is very rich and successful. He has a whole show.
So I know you did that, Derek, because you just said you got a big heart.
Yeah.
Do you need anything? So are you all in a relationship? What is this?
Your Honor, we was in a relationship. You know,
For how long?
We've been 4 years.
What? Hold on. So this whole time, I was assuming that this was a pretty quick fling that began and fizzled as soon as it started, just because of the way that they're talking about it. And Derek then reveals that they were in a relationship for 4 years. That is so much longer than I thought. Those kids grew up. They're out of the house now. They have a mortgage. What is going on?
Yes.
We've been on and on.
Oh, that's full blown.
We had...
did you say off and on or on and on?
We've been on and on.
And on.
Yeah, been coming up.
4 years, this steady.
Yes.
In this relationship, what do you consider her?
I consider her as a girlfriend. She was an older woman.
What? They're talking about how they were in a 4-year relationship. Steve Harvey says, what do you consider her? He says, I consider her a girlfriend. She was an older woman. Not really evidence for how you should treat someone in a relationship. If they're older or younger, I still feel like you still have a conversation about a DTR, a DT. Oh no, DTR, define the relationship. You still have a define the relationship conversation. You don't just assume that because she's an older woman with grandkids that she wants to be in a relationship with you. You're her plaything.
I'm 63.
Girl, you look good.
Thank you.
And how old are you?
49.
You 49?
My favorite parts of Judge Steve Harvey, because I don't think Steve Harvey's a great actor, right? My favorite moments of this show are when his real personality shines through. So Steve is like, okay, there's an age gap in this relationship. How old are you? He asks Linda. And Linda says she's 63. We pause. Damn, Linda, you're looking good for 63. Cue the, claps. Everybody's clapping. And then it's Derek's turn and he's 49. And Steve Harvey's kind of like, okay, damn, dude, you look pretty good for 49. Because he does, honestly. I thought he was in his 30s.
49?
49? Is it the pizza? Shit. I'll pick up some Papa John's tonight.
I thought you was 39.
I'm a good judge of age. I've been looking at black dudes my entire life. The forehead, it ain't got 50 years on it.
I'm 39.
Huh?
Oh, he lied. And Steve Harvey was right, because for some strange reason, Derek lied about his age. Who's to say why? I don't know what the game plan was, but he called him out immediately and succeeded. The challenge was accepted. Sorry, I've been watching the playoffs.
I'm 39.
You're 39. Thank you. All right, so now, over this 4 years, give me an idea of what all you've done.
Having pizza, going to games.
Okay, I'm having a little bit too much fun, but let's play a game. Steve Harvey asks, you've been dating for 4 years. What have you done? And we know a couple of things about Derek. We know that he loves pizza. We know that he loves wings. We know that he loves to drive around his friend and scout ladies out to I don't know, run off the highway and ask them on a date. Which of these things, how do you think he answers Steve Harvey's question? It's pizza.
Having pizza, going to games.
This woman is me. This woman right here. Having pizza again? We get it. You like it. It's fine. We all do.
We've been to amusement parks. We've been to trampoline parks. We've been apple picking. We did a little...
Apple picking?
Yeah, a lot of little...
Boy, you good.
Yeah, because he good.
Yeah, apple picking is good. I mean, to be honest, sometimes I don't want to go anywhere for a date. That's why I'm single. And shit, if he took me apple picking, maybe I'd be down for some pizza. You know what I'm saying? Okay, it's hard not to fall for the guy when he's pulling out every picturesque date idea in the book. Going, eating pizza, going apple picking. I mean, dude, kissing in the rain is the only thing we're missing here for the pizza book. The pizza box. What's our pizza-based rom-com called? Extra pepperoni. Oh, God. No, that sounds pornographic. All right, let's move on.
So he comes through and he takes us and we go places. I will, offer because they're my kids and I don't want nobody to say nothing about what you did for mine. So I'm offering. He says, no, I got it. Don't worry about it. I got it.
Stop that.
Look, Derek,
that.
Okay, hold on. You have a problem with what she's saying?
Yes, the truth is that...
Now, remember you just said you was 49.
Yeah, maybe Steve Harvey has a good point. Okay? Why would you lie to a man that is supposed to determine if you're trustworthy? Especially on something as innocuous as how old you are, which does not matter at all.
And she always saying that I don't have.
She don't have it.
But I consider that she was taking advantage of me, using me, thinking I was an ATM machine.
Derek, for real? I took care of them before I even met you. I didn't ask you for anything. I never depended on you for anything. My existence was on before I even met you. So Telly, keep it real, man.
No, listen here.
Whoa, she lost her cool a little bit. And as she should. She said, I got my shit handled, Derek. I don't need no ATM machine. I can buy pizza on my own, all right? For me and my grandkids. Buster.
So Telly, keep it real, man.
No, listen here. She took you.
Oh, damn. Yeah, he's like, she killed that. The reactions in the show are amazing. It's like a church sermon where people are just like talking back to, they're like, yes. Like, you tell them, dude. This woman has not abandoned this facial expression for the entire time she's been on screen. Like, she is not buying any of his story. None of it.
He couldn't move in with me. Plus, he had lost his job.
Now, I think you got to understand.
Okay, so I'm a little bit confused as to why people are being so hard on this guy for losing his job in the pandemic. Isn't that an experience that a lot of people had? I feel like we could be a little bit more empathetic to that, but I mean, I don't expect Steve Harvey to, but even Linda is like, plus you lost your job?
Plus, he had lost his job.
Now,
and I'm like, I mean, yeah, that happened to a lot of people. I don't know their situation, but if my long-term partner lost their job in the pandemic, I would try to help them, especially if we've been seeing each other for 4 years. Her defense, and I'm sure it's valid, I don't want to invalidate her defense, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me because she's like, I don't want my grandkids seeing me waking up with some man or whatever. So like maybe it just wasn't serious to her as it was to him, because it's like, I think it's fine if you're in a relationship, you see it having potential, but she said playmate. She said playmate. So maybe it was all just play for her. You're just my plaything. Go get another job. If you can't buy us pizza, I don't want you around. I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
I didn't see him for a long time. Months went by. I talked to him in spurts. I had called him. He told me he was upstate New York at Albany at Ranger School.
At where? Ranger School. Do you have any idea what's required to be a ranger?
He gonna catch criminals and cougars on a ski-mobile.
What is going on? Okay, so I don't understand what's happening anymore. I don't know whose side I'm on. Steve Harvey is not an impartial judge.
This just got a lot better. You gonna be Smokey the Bear. Oh.
Fully making fun of this man. Maybe they weren't that close, because he considered a relationship, but also they're like not living in the same city or something. Like, okay, so he loses his job. The timeline is confusing to me. He loses his job in the pandemic. He says, I'm going to become a ranger. He enrolls in ranger school. Steve Harvey says, do you not know what it takes to become a ranger? That's a lot of work. I don't know what it takes to become a ranger, so I don't know, but isn't the idea about going to school for it that you learn what it takes and you like gain those skills? That's what I would think the point of going to ranger school is. But then it just turns into this moment where everybody's making fun of it and laughing at this man for being in ranger. Is there something I'm missing? Is he not just trying to like gain a new skill and better himself? I don't know what's happening. I turn on some lights because it's dark.
Oh, snowmobile. Because I guess catching cougars in cars on the freeway wasn't good enough for you.
This is a kangaroo court. You cannot do this, Steve Harvey. You can't just rip into this man. You know, he's probably in the wrong here. We haven't really heard any evidence. It's more just kind of going off of vibes of whether or not Steve Harvey thinks this guy is a good guy or not, and he's just making fun of him for his choices. And I don't know if that's what a judge is supposed to do. But hey, I didn't go to law school, and I'm way too fly to wear a robe, so.
How long had it been since you all were together?
At least a year.
No, we was together.
No, I hadn't seen Derek in almost a year.
Okay, so the stories are getting very convoluted because apparently they weren't seeing each other for like a year, or they hadn't physically seen each other in a year before she asked to borrow the. I don't get it.
I hadn't seen Derek in almost a year.
All right.
Sometime during the holidays, he came by and I buzzed him in. He came upstairs. I went on back into my room and he came on upstairs and I went out and I said, well, where's Derek? Kid said he left, but as usual, there's the bag on the table. As
usual? Okay, hold on. They hadn't seen each other in a year, but then sometime during the holidays, he came by. They buzzed him in. As usual, there was a bag on the table? What does that mean? So every time this man is like Santa Clausing and he's just like bringing a bunch of treats and then just disappearing into the night every single time? I don't understand, okay?
On the back of the bag is a little folded envelope with a whole lot of cash. So I took the little cash and I went in the room and I did the Flintstone dance like this.
Okay, so Linda is like, Derek came up, I buzzed him in, he dropped off groceries and $10,000.
And I called him.
That's not true.
Derek,
That's not true.
Do you want me to hold this money for you? What you want me to hold this?
And then Derek said, that's not true.
I never asked you for nothing.
Now, Derek, did you show up at our house one day?
Yes.
Did you ring the buzzer?
I rang the buzzer.
Did you come up the stairs and see the kids?
Yes.
Did you bring anything with you when you came?
Yeah, I brought some groceries and I had $10,000 in.
I came up and you buzzed me in and I dropped off groceries and I dropped off $10,000. And how dare you lie about me? How dare you lie about what I did? And they're like, no, we agree. You dropped off the $10,000. That's false. What I did was I dropped off the $10,000. It's like, okay, Derek, it sounds like we agree. It sounds like everyone's on the same page here.
Who did you give the groceries and the money to?
Nobody.
I put the groceries on the table and I said, this is the loan that you request, $10,000. And I loaned her the money.
Now, I know there's a lot of people here watching this video who are on their way to deliver an envelope full of $10,000 to their maybe girlfriend. You cannot just leave the $10,000 in an envelope with no note or a conversation. You cannot just drop off the envelope and bounce. You must either A, have an in-person conversation. That's preferable. Have a conversation on the phone, preferably before you hand off $10,000. Leave a note. If you bring cereal and milk and $10,000, that doesn't imply that it's a car loan. I feel like I shouldn't have to explain this, but here we are. So just pull over. I know you're on the highway right now. Just pull over, find a safe place. Just find a pen. Maybe you can go to a local gas station, pick up a pen. Write a little note on the $10,000 envelope, okay, before you drop it off. So when the kids buzz you in, there's not any confusion about what it's for. Just another Jarvis tip. I know that's what you guys come for, is my tips, my life tips.
Derek Smith took out $10,000. That's for $10,000 cash.
I have money saved.
You have money saved?
Yes.
All right, I've reached my verdict.
How, Steve Harvey? How did you reach your verdict? We saw one piece of evidence so far. And the second after Steve Harvey sees the evidence, which is just a photocopy of a check, he goes, I see what happened here. This was a regular old $10,000 gift that was given for a car loan to one of your lovers, who's a bit older, but she looks good for her age. You know, when the kids buzz you in and you drop off the gift, that's all this is. So I'm going to award no money because the gift was already awarded to Linda, who deserves the car. Thank you for coming to Judge Steve Harvey. I have been Steve Harvey. So Steve Harvey, he brings in these two people. He spends most of the time making fat jokes about Derek and a little bit of time making cougar jokes about Linda. And then he sees a photocopy of a check and he goes, all in a day's work. I've made a decision. Please show your work, Steve Harvey. I feel like he's the type to like do a test, like a math test or something, and then he just writes down the correct answer and then doesn't show his work. And it's like, did you use a calculator? Did someone else do this? Did you hire a different judge behind the cameras to figure out this case for you? What is happening right now, Steve Harvey? And how did you know?
You met her because you were trying to impress a younger guy in the car.
Yeah.
You see this attractive woman drive by, and you pulled her over because you like older women.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's saying this information like it's something that he deduced himself. This is so far things that have been told to Steve Harvey. And he's like, I know what's going on. You have a crush on Linda. And it's like, we know. They dated for 4 years.
You are a good man.
Yes, he is.
You got a good heart. She did not take advantage of you because you were in a vulnerable state. Because if you was in a vulnerable state, you shouldn't have got out the car. She know what she got to do. She a cougar. Cougars come with experience. Cougars got claws.
What is happening right now? He is just free associating things. Steve Harvey sounds like ChatGPT right now. And then this fucking guy is nodding his head like Steve Harvey is spitting hot fire. Cougars got claws. That's what they always say. When he's right, he's right. Cougars got claws. Steve Harvey said it.
I know you went out to capture a cougar, but you wound up getting captured by the cougar. Did you ever love this man?
Yeah, I do. Can I give him a hug?
I have to rule against you for the $10,000. Simply because I have no proof of loan, I can't get an agreement of a payment plan, and she certainly is not in a position to pay you any money. But this is my court. Even though I'm ruling against you on your suit for $10,000, just for being a good man, I'm going to award you $5,000.
Okay, so Steve Harvey just says a bunch of shit that he doesn't know if it's true or false. And then he goes, you know what? I don't have any information to go on. But you seem like a nice guy, and you were a good sport about all the fat pizza jokes I made about you. So you know what? Here's $5,000 from our television show budget. Court is adjourned. I guess that's what he says.
And that's the way I see it.
The verdict: court awards plaintiff $5,000 for being a good guy. Dude, you can't make this shit up. This show is awesome. That's the tale of Derek and Linda, the pizza cougar extravaganza. Thank you for tuning in to Jarvis Johnson Gold. If you want to see more Judge Judy Harvey, I will happily provide it because this is the most fun I've ever had in my whole life. Stay gold, everybody.